Hi everybody and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I can't believe that we're here, that I actually just sat down today and filmed this video. I just feel so relieved that I finally get to share all these tips and tricks that I have been building up over the years. Honestly, I've been watching YouTube for 10 plus years. I started out watching makeup videos because I wanted to learn how to cover my acne at the time. And it's really just blossomed into a passion I have for watching these videos, but I've never wanted to turn things around and make my own videos until now. You guys who are sending in so many requests on how I achieve this makeup look that you see me wearing all the time. And I'm just really excited to bring that to you guys today. I think that all makeup levels are able to achieve this look today. I'm going to take you step by step so you know exactly what to do. Super versatile. You can change up the lip color or the eyes, keep the face the same. This is something that you can do when you don't really want to think about what you want to do for your makeup, or you just want something that you know is going to work. This is the look for that. So before we get started, I just want to introduce myself to anyone that might not know me already. My name is Michelle. Like I said, this is my first YouTube video ever, but really I just have such a passion for the platform, for fashion. That is really where I think my heart lies, but I also love beauty because growing up, that is kind of how, like I said before, I covered my acne and really gained confidence in myself. And so that's blossomed into a passion as well. So we'll just kind of see where things go on this channel. I'm not setting up any strict things just yet because, like I said, I just want to play around with this and see where it goes. But without further ado, let's just jump right into this makeup tutorial, and please feel free to leave comments or questions below. If I didn't explain something, I'd be more than happy to kind of delve deeper into that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hi you guys, welcome to the actual makeup tutorial segment of the video. So to get started, I don't actually put the foundation directly on my face just yet. I actually start with the primer, and the one that I've really been loving right now is actually the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. They also have a moisturizer, which I actually bought first before I realized I bought the wrong one. But this is the one that I absolutely love. So I'm just going to take some of this on the back of my finger, and I'm just going to put little dollops of it basically on my two cheeks. I can't see my face right now, but don't worry. And then under my chin and my forehead. And then we're just going to rub it in. This is going to go into your skin completely. I'm not going to be able to see it. Now this is really moisturizing. I prefer more moisturizing base or primer before I do my makeup, just because I feel like it makes the makeup glide on a lot easier. I also like one that leaves my face a little bit tacky at the end, almost like glue when we're going to put our foundation on. So I'm just blending this in. And there we have it. Alright, so now I'm actually going to move into my foundation. I use a lot of different foundations that I kind of switch between based on the weather, how I'm feeling, what kind of look I want that day. So for today's look, I'm actually going to be using the foundation BB cream. That's going to give my skin a little bit more of a dewy finish, a little bit more natural. One of my all-time favorites is actually the Dior Forever foundation. But today I didn't want as full coverage of a look, so that's why we were going to go in with this one by Dr. Jart. Now, to make our skin a little bit more dewy with this look, I'm actually going to take the Cover FX Enhancer, Custom Enhancer Drops in Moonlight, and I'm actually going to make a foundation sandwich before I put it onto my skin. You'll see what I mean. Okay. So I'm going to be taking this on a fluffy brush. I personally don't like the almost paintbrush looking foundation brushes that are always the ones that I feel like beginner makeup people go into and use. Instead of, more of a fluffy brush, it's just going to buff out your foundation a lot nicer and kind of blend everything together. This look is very blended. and it makes it more seamless. All right, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pump, it's almost out, but little pump, and then now we're gonna do the sandwich. Take this and put it in the middle. So I did like one drop of the BB cream, and then I'm gonna do another drop on top. Now I'm just gonna take what I have on my brush, and I'm kind of just gonna spread it onto my face where I want it before actually going in and blending it. So right now I'm just going to do the sides of my face, and we'll go and do my forehead in a second. Now the glow from the custom enhancer drops is very subtle, so you don't have to worry about, you know, looking like a disco ball or noticeably oilier if you have really oily skin. It really just kind of brings out that natural glow from within. All right, and then just gonna add a little bit more to my brush for my forehead, and I'll just add a teensy drop of my enhancer. This won't be a sandwich, but you can make it a sandwich on your face. So the key to having really flawless makeup, which is what we're going for today, is to really make sure that you take the time to blend everything out. So what that means is that this routine at first might seem a little bit long for you when you're kind of getting the hang of all these techniques. But I can do this makeup probably 15 to 20 minutes flat now, 10 if I'm, you know, not doing so much on the eyes. So this is a really easy makeup look for you to kind of achieve on a daily basis. Alrighty. So that looks blended into me. Now notice how I did blend into my neck as well. My neck can like tend to be really white, and people think that I'm always like the palest shade of foundation, which usually I am still pretty pale. But this is just gonna help make everything look seamless. All right, the next step is we're actually gonna go in with concealer. If you've been living under a rock, you probably don't know what this is, but I'm sure everyone knows the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I personally use the shade Fair Beige, even though I think this one might be a little bit light for me, but we're gonna make it work. So I'm just gonna take on the wand, I'm gonna do 2 dots because this stuff is super pigmented, and I just don't feel like I need more than 2 dots under my eyes. You'll see when we blend it out. So now I'm going to take the concealer brush that I have from Sigma, and it's just their tapered kabuki. It's the F86 brush, it's kind of rubbed off. And then we're going to take that. I like it because it is still kind of fluffy, but it has more of a tapered edge, so it's really easy to get in under the eyes. We are also only going to be doing patting motions. I don't really swipe the concealer because I want to press it into my skin, and when you start swiping it, I feel like it can kind of shear it out or make it go on patchy, which is not what we're going for. So I'm just kind of going to stamp that. I'm going to make sure I get under my eye and kind of blend it out a little bit. So very natural, 2 dots, completely did the job there. So I'm just gonna finish blending in the rest of my face. Now I put some coverage on my forehead. A lot of people do this for highlighting. I did it because I had a few little face friends up top today, and I just wanted to cover them up, and just some like even acne scarring, some hyperpigmentation. So I just want to make sure that everything is looking flawless. All right, and there you have the flawless base. That's kind of where we're gonna stop with cream products for right now. The rest we're gonna go in with powders. So the next step for me is actually to take bronzer. This is a bronzer I've actually been using for, I want to say like 4 years probably. I discovered it by accident, but ever since then it's been my favorite. It is by Dior, and it is the DiorSkin Nude Air Tan Powder, but I like it because it has more of an orange undertone. A lot of people like to bronze with more cool tones, even like kind of gray, depending on what undertones you have personally. But for me, I kind of contour and bronze in one, and I like doing that with a more orangey shade. So with my bronzer, I'm going to go in with the only brush that I do my bronzer with, which is the MAC, oh my gosh, it's rubbed off. I think it's 166 maybe. It's whatever the angled contour brush in their collection is. And I'm just gonna load that up on the brush. And we are going to be contouring in a 3, but I do a little bit more heavily right here where we're gonna go in. So if you don't know where to do this at first, you wanna do it under your cheekbones. You can always do the fish face like this, and just kind of go in there. Personally, I've done this every day of my life for like the past 8 years, so I kind of know where it is at this point, but we're just gonna go in. Now I know it looks harsh at first, that's just because I haven't blended it all out yet, but I'm just kind of mapping out where I'm gonna have this bronzer on. This is honestly probably my favorite part of doing my makeup. I just feel like it totally transforms my face, gives me dimension, makes it look like I have, you know, slightly a tan, or that I just don't look like a corpse, I guess. Now I'm just going around the forehead. So you can see we started here, but really we're gonna end up kind of going in a 3 type of motion. So now that I've done the forehead, I've done the cheeks, now I'm just gonna go lightly down the sides of my nose. I don't do a strong nose contour with like cream and all that stuff. I just like to kind of, you know, do the sides a little bit, give some sun there, and then also take some on the jawline. Like so. Alright, now we've mapped everything out. Now I'm just going to go in with one of my Holy Grail brushes. This is the Real Techniques powder brush, and I take this completely with no product on it, and I'm just going to go and blend. Also, if you think that you've blended enough, keep blending. Alright, and that looks pretty good to me. If you think you need a little bit more, maybe you wiped off a little bit more bronzer than you wanted to, I just go back in with my brush sometimes, and I'll just do lightly a little bit more on my cheek contour. Not very much though, because usually I got it all in the first go around. Next up is blush, and I'm going to be using Nars in the shade Luster. I have to say that Nars Cosmetics, their blushes are my favorite, so that's pretty much only the blushes I use, but I also have tried the Tarte ones as well, and I have one that I use sometimes, but this is just the blush that I always go back to. And the reason why I love this shade personally so much is just because it's a very natural blush. It kind of gives me a nice little glow. I'm not overly highlight obsessed, so I don't have tons of products that are all infused with this really intense highlight. I like something natural that looks like it comes from within, and that's why I like this one. It's a very neutral color, goes with a ton of makeup looks, and that's why I come back to it. So I'm going to take that on this MAC 127 brush. I think it was limited edition, but honestly any kind of fluffy but still a little bit compact brush will work for your blush. You just want it, you know, not as small of a brush, more fluffy is better. And I just take that on the apples of my cheeks, but I also kind of blend it back into my contour a little bit. and you can kind of see it brings just the right amount of color back to my cheeks, but without looking like, you know, my cheeks are super pink rosy like I did put on blush. And then just to make sure that everything is blended together, I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush, which by the way is the Morphe M439 brush. But like I said, any kind of fluffy kabuki brush will do. And I just blend the edges of where I put my blush and my contour to make sure that everything is blended. Alright, so I know I said that doing my contour was one of my favorite parts, but I think if I had to pick a number one, I mean they kind of go together, but it would be baking. So if you guys haven't heard of what baking is, especially if you're new into makeup, which I know a lot of people watching this video are going to be, I'm going to be using basically a loose translucent powder. You can also use colorless foundation powder. The point is though it has to be a loose powder, and you can kind of tell in this, you can usually see it in there. You don't want anything pressed, because when you see what we do with it, you want it to be loose and kind of be able to build up onto your face. So the one I'm going to be using for this video today is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I personally also love the Laura Mercier translucent powder, but I sent that off with my mom, so I don't have it with me right now, so we're going to use this one. Now, this can be like kind of messy, this step of makeup, so just be careful. But basically I'm going to shake some of the product out onto the lid here so that we can kind of build it up and put it onto our face. So what actually is baking? Baking is something that came from the drag queen world, which is really fabulous. And also those men need to have their makeup on for hours and hours on end, so I trust anyone that can keep their makeup on that long with a trick like this. Basically what baking is we're going to be loading up powder onto our skin in specific areas, so make sure you're paying attention. But basically by putting this powder onto our skin and leaving it there for the rest of this makeup tutorial, don't laugh at me, I'm going to look a little bit silly, but I promise at the end it's going to make the biggest difference. By putting it on the skin, you're basically trapping the airflow going in through your skin. Sounds really scary, but it's not, don't worry. By doing that, the heat radiating off your skin is actually physically baking the makeup into your skin, so that it's going to last you 12 plus hours, a good full long day. So this is one of my favorite makeup tricks. Once I discovered it, I never went back. So let's just, you know, get into it and see what it actually is. All right, so I'm going to be, for this, taking the Real Techniques 301 brush. It doesn't have a name, I don't believe, but basically the trick to this is you're going to want a brush that is very densely packed together, like this one. And if it's in kind of a line like this as well, that's going to help you. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to go directly into my powder, and I'm going to stamp it until you can see the powder on the end of my brush. So don't tap it off, you want everything that's on there. Then I'm just going to take my mirror so I can see where I'm going. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it directly under where I contoured my skin. Try to do it in as straight of a line as possible, like so. And I'm even going to take it up here. So as you can see, once we wipe this powder away, which do not do it yet, it's going to really define, you know, where I did my contour. Like that, we're going to leave it. Now I'm just going to do the other side. Like that. And then for the chin, I'm just gonna do this and kind of wipe off the excess of the brush. And I use the lid under myself because this does get messy. And all right, just like that. So we are going to actually leave our skin like this for the rest of our makeup. So do not brush it away, don't touch it. We're gonna be working on the eyes, the brows, everything kind of above now, so you don't have to worry about it. and we're just gonna let it do its thing. Just put my powder away, so now we're gonna move into the eyes and the brows. All right, first step for the eyes is I'm going to be taking this Paint Pot by MAC in the shade Painterly. If you have more pink undertones to your skin, kind of like myself, I would go with Painterly. If you have more yellow undertones, or maybe you're a little bit more olive skin complexion, I would go in with Soft Ochre by MAC. So I'm just gonna take my finger for this part. You can also take it on a brush, but your finger will do the job as well. And I'm just going to put this on my entire eyelid all the way up to the brow. And what this does is it just primes my eyes for eyeshadow. It's gonna cover up any pigmentation or veins. I can have some noticeable purple veining on my eyelids, so this just kind of cancels those out so that you just see the eyeshadow that we're gonna put on. This is almost like putting foundation on your eyes, but it's a paint pot, so it's, you know, made specifically for your eyes. You can also just use your concealer for this if you don't have this product or anything like it, or you don't want to go out and get it. Concealer will be fine as well. All right, so now that step is done. Before I actually start putting any eyeshadow on my eyes, I'm actually going to do my brows first. I don't actually use a brow pencil, maybe when I first get them done and there's a little bit more sparse patches, but thankfully I like to keep my eyebrows nice and thick, so I really only need a brow gel when it comes to filling them in and setting them. Today I'm going to be using the Benefit Gimme Brow, which I am so upset that this has actually been recalled. So this is an old one that I have. I usually get a new one after I've gotten my eyebrows done, but thank God I held on to this because this is my holy grail brow product, and they recalled it because there were people out there thinking that this was a mascara and putting it in their eyes, which it is not made for, and I guess something happened, and so now it's been recalled off the market, and this is why we can't have nice things. So I'm just gonna take this and comb it through my brows and just kind of tidy them up a little bit. They really don't need any filling in, so that's why I'm just, this fills in the little loose gaps that, you know, I really don't need a pencil or powder to do because this stuff is so amazing and does it without. Just gonna do the other side. Also, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I get my eyebrows done, I feel like one always looks perfect and the other one is just, you know, can't get it together. Can't remember which one it is. They've actually grown out pretty nicely together, thank God. So I just kind of brush it through until I'm satisfied with the shape. Now I know everyone's brows is really personal to them, it's individual, so for this part, kind of do what your normal brow routine is. You don't have to really follow mine because my eyebrows are unique to the shape of my face, just like yours are. But depending on, you know, what you have, if you don't have very many brow hairs kind of going, if you have more mature skin, I would recommend a pencil or even a pomade if you feel like you actually need to kind of draw out more of the end part of your eyebrow. So keep that in mind as well. But you can definitely achieve great eyebrows. It just can be more work for some of us. Now I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow finally, and I'm actually going to be taking this palette that I have had from MAC. I bought these eyeshadows all individually, so this isn't a palette you can go out and purchase, but it's definitely one that you can make up in your collection. So we're not going to be using all of these shades. I'll make sure to tell you every one that I'm using, but we are going to start with our lid shade, the base, and for that I'm going to be using this shade right here, this one, and it is in All That Glitters, and it's just kind of a nice, almost like champagne brown nude color. And it just, you know, we're going for a really natural look on the eyes today because I want you to be able to do this every single day or just do it without thinking. And with that, we're going to go in with that shade on this MAC 242 brush. It's just kind of a skinny, flat brush that you can really press the pigment into your eyes with. So I'm going to take that, load it up on my brush, and then I'm going to lightly pat it onto my eyelid. Now I have really small like eyelids, but then I have a lot of, I don't even know what this would be called, but kind of the space between my lid and my brow. So my lid is kind of smaller, but that's okay because I can kind of redefine my crease in the next step. So with that, I'm just gonna pat it onto the lid up to my crease, even a little bit above it, not very much. Thankfully this part you don't have to worry about being 100% clean and perfect, because the next steps are kind of gonna clean up any loose ends that we have. We just wanna get the product on there, but please do not put it all the way up to your eyebrow. That is my only request with this look. And I say that because in middle school, or no, sorry, high school, I did that. All right. So now we just have our kind of base lid shade on. Now I'm gonna go in with my Sigma Blending E25. This is just kind of a tapered blending brush that's gonna fit great in my crease. I'm gonna go in with this shade here by MAC, which is called Soba. And it's just kind of a nice mid-tone brown. This one's actually more cool toned. Usually I wear more warmer tones, but I really like this because it's a neutral and it just kind of brings everything together really well. So if you don't know where your crease is, you can just kind of look up a little bit and you'll see naturally where your crease is. You can also stick the brush in, and wherever it's kind of going in is where your natural crease is. And I'm just gonna blend back and forth windshield wiper motions. And I'm also gonna make sure I get it on the outside there, but just blending. You don't wanna go higher than your crease though. We don't wanna get into brow territory. And I just tap off the excess and do the other side. Like so. Now, if this is looking a little bit harsh to you, you don't have to worry because we're gonna blend everything out. Like this is kind of like our first step of contour where we were mapping everything, just to make sure that we knew where it was. Now I'm also going to take some just on the end of my brush, so I literally just tapped it like so. And I'm gonna take this under my eye as well on the lower lash line. Like that. Like I said, if it looks harsh, don't worry. You can always blend it out. Like that. All right, now this is gonna be the brush that saves your entire eye makeup look. We're gonna use it multiple times throughout this process. So this one is by It Cosmetics, excuse me. And it is the, oh my gosh, it's a silver brush with silver writing. It's the Blending Crease Brush number 105. Now this has nothing on it. I know it looks like it just because I've used it in the past for my makeup, but you don't need to put anything on it. You just take it and go over where you took your crease color, and you're just kind of gonna soften the edges and make it seamless and almost a little bit smoky. This is kind of like a daytime smoky eye, but still very subtle, so you don't have to worry about people thinking, oh, she or he went way overboard on this look. Like so. This is also kind of like a little eye massage. You make really nice faces. The uglier the face, the better the blending. Like so. All right, we're almost done. I'm just gonna keep this brush in my hand because I'm gonna need it in 2 more steps. Now, to define my lower lash line, I don't actually use eyeliner anymore. I feel like my eye shape, I have hooded eyes, so I don't do liquid liner on top. I don't do anything dramatic because when I open my eyes, I have such small lid space that it can look like I have black eyeshadow on. So I only define my lower lash line with a darker eyeshadow, and it looks like I've used eyeliner, but because it's powder and blended out, it's gonna last a lot longer than if I did use more of a cream eyeliner type product. So I'm gonna take my MAC, oh my gosh, they're all rubbed off, the numbers. I think it's the 289. It's basically this flat brush that's really compact, and I'm just gonna take the tip of the brush. You can see the natural color of the brush was actually like a white, but because I use a really dark shade, you can see that. So now I'm gonna take this shade here. This is Handwritten by MAC. It's a very dark brown. I think it almost has like purple undertones in it, but very subtle. It's not purple eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna take this on the lower lash line delicately. You can kind of go all the way. I go from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner, like so. It's gonna look harsh. That's what the blending brush is for. To the other eye. Like that. And then we're gonna go back in with that It Cosmetics blending brush, and you're gonna really love the fact that you put that other transition shade under your eye already, because now you're kind of blending the two shades together, which is gonna give you a nice smoky effect. Just like that. All right, last step is I'm gonna go in with this brush from Clinique. It's basically this angled, still kind of fluffy brush. I got this ages ago, but this is perfect for stamping those lighter shades in your inner corner. So I'm gonna go in with two shades. First with Vanilla by MAC on my brow highlight, and then I'm gonna go in with Retrospect, or no, yeah, Retrospect, this is the shade. It's more of a silver metallic shimmer shade. So Vanilla, I'm going to take that and just put it into the highest point of my brow. This is a matte shade, so it's not going to be super highlight glowy. If you want a shade like that from MAC, I know Shroom is a popular one. If you really want to be extra, I would go with Nylon by MAC. That one is very shimmery. In fact, those would actually look really great in your inner corner, which is what I'm going to use Retrospect for. So I'm almost like cleaning up my eye look with this color as well. Now I'm going to go in with Retrospect on my brush, and I'm actually going to take this and kind of stamp it in the inner corner. So I do the top. This is why I love this brush. It fits perfectly. Do the bottom right there. This is very subtle, but I really feel like it opens up the eyes, it brings light to the eyes, and it also makes people want to look at your eyes. Just like that. All right, so we are done with the eyeshadow now, and we're gonna do mascara, and that will be it for the eyes. For mascara, I'm gonna be going in with my Holy Grail mascara. This makes it look like you have false eyelashes on. I've recommended it to all my friends, and they tell me they love it. So it is the Shock Mascara by YSL. It's a little bit pricey. If you want the drugstore dupe for this, it's actually the L'Oreal Lash Paradise is a really good one. But I still think that this gives a little bit more oomph that's worth paying for compared to the Lash Paradise, personally. And I'm just going to comb that through my lashes. And I go from root to tip on this because that's how you're really going to get the length out of your lashes and really get that false effect. I also only really do one coat of mascara. Like after I finish this, I'm not going to go back and touch up anything. I just kind of do the one because I really feel like that's all you need. Dip it in and go in with the other eye. But like, look at the difference there. I mean, it looks like I just applied false eyelashes. which I love that that's what this mascara can do, because I actually used to wear false lashes back in the day when I was on the dance team, and it was just so much effort for something that I feel like didn't last very long. I know a lot of people actually wear false lashes on a daily basis, but I'm just not one of those girls. Alright, now I'm super extra, so I actually have a separate mascara for my lower lash line, only because I think the brush is more like just fitted for the lower lash line, but it is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. I love this stuff. I use it on my lower lashes because the brush just fits in perfectly. We are in the home stretch. We're almost done. Now we just finished the eyes. Everything's looking good. Now we actually get to wipe the powder off of our face. So with that, I'm going to go back in with that Real Techniques powder brush, and I'm just going to wipe away all the excess. And there you have it. You can see how flawless our skin looks. And I wish you could see the texture in person, but my skin is just completely soft, smoothed out. It looks airbrushed. I mean, this is why a lot of you are watching the video, because you have seen my skin in person, and so you know what this look achieves, but now you know how I actually go about doing it. Now to finish off, I'm just gonna do lips now. I have 3 products that I use for that. We're going to start with the Bite Beauty, let's see, Line and Define. This is great when you are wearing any darker shade lipsticks because it helps you prevent against feathering, but we're not going in with the dark shade. I'm just doing it to moisturize my lips. You can also just use chapstick for this, but I have this, so that's what I'm working with. Okay. This is my Holy Grail lip liner. This is my second one actually that I've almost been through with this one. This is by MAC, and this is Subculture Lip Pencil. It is pretty much the exact shade of my lips, so I can use it to overdraw them, make them look fuller. Which is really the key to all of this, because none of us want to get lip injections, right? So I'm just going to outline my lips. I don't think this has to be perfect because you can clean it up with the lipstick. Like that. I don't really fill in my lips with the lip liner, I just kind of outline them. And then with that, I'm going to take my favorite lipstick of all time, pretty much what I'm wearing when I don't know what else to wear, or if I'm not wearing like a bolder shade. This is also by MAC. This is Viva Glam 2, and it is my perfect nude. Alright, and then to clean up my lips just a little bit, I'll go back in with my lip liner. Just to define things, but that looks good to me. The final step of this makeup look is now to set it to make sure that it lasts throughout the entire day. And for that, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. This is literally like hairspray for your face and makes my makeup last 12 to 16 hours, or pretty much if I wake up in the morning, put my makeup on, doesn't matter how early, it's gonna last me until I take it off at bedtime. So I just give it a little shake and then we're gonna spray it on her face. Then I'm just making sure it dries. While it's drying, you want to make sure you're not making any crazy expressions so it's not settling into any lines. But other than that, you guys, we are done with this makeup tutorial. I hope you like it. I hope it's everything you were waiting for. I hope you learned some new things in this video, some things that you can now put into your makeup routine and hopefully achieve flawless skin. I mean, like I said in the beginning, you can really take this makeup look and shift around some of the colors and make it suitable for you, but no matter what colors you are working with, what products, you are still gonna get the same thing if you use similar or the same techniques. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Can't believe how long it's taken me to do this. I think it was just kind of building up the courage and I wanted things to be perfect, but honestly, just doing this, I'm so glad to put it out there and show you guys who have been asking me all the time how I do this everyday makeup look. I hope you can take it with you, make it into your own. So with that, thank you guys, and hopefully there will be more videos coming in the future. Also, a quick little note, all the products that I used in this video will be mentioned down below, so if you didn't quite catch something, don't worry, it's all down there waiting for you, as well as any social media channels that I have that you guys want to follow me on. If you aren't already following on those, please feel free to do so. Instagram is my personal favorite, but other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!